Black pepper. Something so ordinary that we barely think about it, yet so extraordinary it has shaped global history. You probably use it every single day. A quick twist of the grinder, a sprinkle on your eggs, and that's it. But have you ever stopped to wonder, where does black pepper actually come from? How does this little black sphere make its way from a farm halfway across the world to your dinner table? Well, buckle up, because today we're taking you on a journey through spice farms, sun-drenched fields, and steamy drying yards to uncover how black pepper is really made, right here on History of Simple Things. Our story begins where black pepper is born, in the tropical spice-growing regions of India, Vietnam, Indonesia, and a handful of other equatorial countries. These regions have the perfect conditions: hot, humid, and rainy. Black pepper comes from the Piper nigrum plant, a climbing vine that grows up tall wooden poles or even trees. It almost looks like a grapevine, except instead of grapes, it produces long clusters of tiny green berries. Yes, that's right, the pepper you know and love starts its life as a green berry. Farmers harvest the berries when they are just starting to ripen. Timing is crucial. Pick them too early and the flavor won't fully develop. Pick them too late, and they lose that bold, peppery bite. Harvesting is often done by hand. Farmers climb ladders or use long poles to gently pluck the spikes of pepper berries off the vines. It's repetitive, careful work, but it's the only way to get the best peppercorns. Once harvested, the spikes are threshed to separate the berries from the stalks. At this stage, they're still soft and green, but this is where the transformation begins. The berries are briefly cooked in hot water. This step doesn't really cook them, but it cleans the peppercorns and kickstarts the enzymatic process that darkens the skin. It also softens the outer layer, which makes drying easier. After this quick bath, the peppercorns are spread out to dry in the sun, on mats, concrete slabs, or tarps. This drying process can take several days depending on the weather. As they dry, the skin shrivels, darkens, and becomes that familiar wrinkled shell we know as black peppercorns. This is also where the flavor really concentrates, giving pepper its bold, earthy punch. The goal is to reduce the moisture content from about 70% down to roughly 10%, which makes the peppercorns shelf-stable and perfect for export. Once dried, the peppercorns are sorted by size and quality. The largest, darkest, most uniform ones are sold as whole peppercorns, often ending up in grinders for that fresh ground kick. Lower grades might be sold as pre-ground pepper, or processed into pepper oil and flavor extracts used in snacks, sauces, and even perfumes. From here, the peppercorns are bagged and shipped worldwide. Vietnam, for instance, is one of the largest exporters of black pepper, sending tons of it across the globe every year. In your kitchen, you might have whole peppercorns in a grinder or a jar of ground pepper. Whole peppercorns keep their flavor much longer. That powerful aroma you get when you twist the grinder? That's the volatile oils being released fresh from the crushed outer shell. Ground pepper, however, starts to lose its potency quickly, which is why fresh ground pepper almost always tastes better. But black pepper is more than just a kitchen staple, it's a spice that changed the world. In ancient Rome, it was so valuable it was used as currency. During the Middle Ages, it was locked up in vaults like gold, and the global spice trade was driven largely by pepper. In fact, European exploration routes, including Columbus's journey across the Atlantic, were motivated in part by the search for spices like pepper. And here's a fun fact: black, green, and white pepper all come from the same plant. The difference lies in how they're processed. Black pepper is harvested just before full ripeness and sun-dried. Green peppercorns are picked young and preserved in brine or freeze-dried to keep their bright, fresh flavor. White pepper comes from fully ripened berries that are soaked to remove the skin, leaving only the pale inner seed, which gives it a milder, earthier taste. So next time you reach for that grinder, take a moment to think about the journey those peppercorns took, from lush tropical farms to being carefully hand-harvested, cooked, dried, sorted, and shipped around the globe, all so they could land in your kitchen and transform your meal. Black pepper isn't just a seasoning, it's a global story of trade, culture, and history. With every sprinkle, you're tasting a spice that once fueled empires and shaped world exploration. All that, from a tiny little berry. Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this story, drop your thoughts in the comments below, we'd love to hear from you. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for more fascinating stories on the history of things.